Hi, I'm Kelly, the Scarf Witch, and this is The Liminal Tapestry, a space where I follow glimmers of remembered threads, weaving through story, symbol, and soul. Threads that rise from the liminal and move through both the mysterious eternal and the practical now. I don't always know where they're leading, but I follow the movement as a quiet invitation to wander and to weave. I have wrangled in Charles from Sigils and Servitors on TikTok, but also Jinx, my guest that I have had. Is it safe to say to the people that you are her husband? So I have wrangled you in. I'm getting your whole household. Well, the whole household. But yeah, thanks for coming on.
The child is too young to be doing the show, obviously, but if she did, it would be a hoot because she has like lots of opinions about this stuff.
Right. I've heard a couple of things that she's mentioned. Anyway, couple of things that I really hope to get into. First of all, we have the same life path, which is hilarious to me. We're both life path ones.
That's right.
And you're really into chaos, man. You consider yourself, what's your moniker? Do you call yourself a chaos magician, a practitioner? What's your preferred title?
I like practitioner, and okay. My daughter was pushing me to be wizard, like, oh, mommy's a witch, you're a wizard. And I'm not going to walk around like I'm a wizard. And she was... I said, I like practitioner because I call it my culture. It's more complicated than that. But my Norse culture, a lot of just the average Joe or Jane was doing some magic. So practitioner is kind of like, oh yeah, lots of people could do magic. And she didn't like that explanation at all. She was like, you can call yourself a wizard still, though, Daddy. Like, just do that.
That's funny. So did that come first? Have you always been into the Norse practice, or what? How did that start?
So I've been interested in it for many years. I started to dive into it a little bit maybe 7 or 8 years ago at the behest of Jinx. She saw me getting interested in some of the mythology, said I should write some stories about that, get into the runes, just like dive in, see what I find. This was before we were full on doing magic, practicing, but at the interest level, I was always vaguely interested, and she kind of pushed me to go a little bit deeper with it.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So how did that all start too? Like, I know that she's been, she was an atheist for a while. Were you an atheist first or after? Like, where did your sort of journey start in that?
So, I suppose I was an atheist many years too, as well. I went through kind of a Christian phase, and in retrospect, I was seeking something else, like the cultural vocabulary around us. If you're getting interested in non-materialistic, spiritual things, the vocabulary around you is Christian. Like, you pick up a book, it's likely to be Christian. I hadn't learned about magic per se yet, so that was just what I had. If you're having a conversation with somebody, I just don't think this world is all there is. That's like Christian coded, even though it probably shouldn't be.
I see.
Oh, so okay. We're getting a sense of each other's rhythm. Like, are they?
We are. We are. And we haven't really had conversations prior to this, right?
That's right,
each other's videos and stuff. So we're not we don't have a rapport yet.
We've heard each other monologuing. I know your individual rhythm.
Yeah, exactly. But how does this work together?
And with you and Jinx stream together, you just pop off with ideas so quickly. There's very few pauses.
It's wild. It's just goes into a mesh. We sort of fit puzzle pieces. Okay, so let me actually just
cut to the chase here, and then I'm sure we'll go from there. Because I want to hear about, like, it seems like I was also I was watching before I got onto TikTok and before I started posting videos. I found a creator called Ivy the Occultist. She's here on YouTube. She's on YouTube. I say here on YouTube because it's going to come on YouTube. She's on YouTube. I haven't watched her in a while. She's really interesting, and she does do chaos magic. And that's where I found the Phil Hines book, right? And I did too long didn't read on that. Like, I skimmed it. It has good chapters. I didn't read every single word. I read like sort of the chapters, right? I did that kind of a read. And I really liked the principles of that. But when I've heard you talk about it, you seem to talk, you go really into like the left-hand path of it, or like, I want to hear your thoughts on it and like kind of like how you found it, how you practiced it, what your thoughts are. I mean, you even have like your title on TikTok now has Servitors in it. I am not ready for the whole. I don't know if I ever will be ready for Servitors. I don't know if that's my vibe, but for me personally, it seems like a lot of work. So yeah, wherever you want to start on that, I want to know. I want to digest your mind on what you know about chaos magic, because there's a lot of people, and then I'll shut up. But like a lot of people think like chaos magic is just like being messy, which is so not it.
Yes, you're exactly right. Oh man, that's I think that was one of my talking points. You just read my mind. Yeah. So,
sorry.
No, that's great. So yeah, we've seen a lot of chaos magic, chaos witch, chaos this, and yeah, I think if you haven't looked into it, you kind of think, pull a little bit from A, pull a little bit from me, that's chaos magic. And sorta, like, it's not 100% wrong to say that, but there's also very specific traditions and ideas. It is its own distinct practice. It's not just being chaotic.
Right.
And so the main ones, if I were to describe chaos magic to somebody like point blank, what is it? I would probably mention sigils. Like, sigils are kind of the basis of it. Sigils full of intention. Servitors, and using belief as a tool. Maybe using belief as a tool is the big one, because it's kind of an uncomfortable idea that a lot of people wouldn't get past. And that part, I don't know everything about your magic practice, but that part I feel like you could dive into a decent amount, because you don't have like a lot of dogmatic truths on your show. Like, everything is sort of, we can pick this apart, we can look at this from another angle. Trying a belief on for size seems very like friendly for Kelly, but like if you have deeply rooted beliefs inside of you, which is probably a good thing, but if you can't take that off for a second, that would imply maybe something other than chaos magic would be a better path for you. Like, you need a fair amount of belief flexibility, that not positive or negative, that's just not for everybody.
Right, yeah, like, I know, like, and it's funny, too, because, like, even all of my frameworks and everything, right, and I even have one of the things, I have it on one of my blog posts on my cosmology, right, is that I have actually I personally have a framework to getting to belief, right, like, because and I, looking back on it, too, like, when I was younger, like, there's times when I like want something, or it's like I can hone in, and it's like I collapse all of the realities that I don't want, and I'm like, I'm getting this one, right? And it's so clear. It's so clear. I like so believe it. And it's like, but I can't pretend to believe it, right? So I need a framework to stepping stone sort of like get me to, believe it. And then I can use it, you know?
So, like, what might one of those stepping stones look like?
Yeah, so it's like, and I guess really it's just a fancy way of saying deconditioning, but it's like, it's like, what's one that I've worked through? But it's like, it's a matter of being honest with what is. So say, oh, that was a good one. Is that like, how did I phrase it before? It was like, I'm fine, right? Like if, you know, like when you're like having an anxiety fit and you're like, okay, I'm fine. And this is not like a very like practical, not like I'm going to get $1 million thing. It's like this, okay, I'm actually not fine. That is a truth right now. I can believe that. I can believe that right now I'm not fine. And I can believe that I want to be fine.
Okay.
So I can believe that. I can believe those two things and I can believe that both of those things are true at the same time. That I am not fine and I want to be fine. And then all of a sudden, like with that, once I sort of acknowledge both of those things, I can, whatever anxiety it's that I'm like dealing with, like whatever catastrophizing, it all of a sudden almost immediately dissolves. Because now I've held both truths of what's honest for me right now.
Yeah. So, your most recent episode with Jinx, you guys were kind of talking about authenticity coming from, like, authenticity doesn't have to mean there's this objective truth out in the world and I'm telling you about it and that makes me authentic. It's more like whatever vibe you are right now, you're hanging on to that vibe instead of trying to change it and everything kind of works out from there. That was how I read it.
Yeah, for sure.
And so you're saying kind of that if you're anxious, if you have a tough time, if you can't get right, it's not so much everything is going to be okay. I have the skills I need to deal with this. You just need to be where you are and like kind of own that. And then the anxiety kind of dissipates. Okay.
Right. And the thing that I'm playing with my frameworks right now, with the Rubik's Cube and all of that stuff, like I have these sort of binaries, these orientation binaries that I'm saying, okay, so this is, I am in sort of like maybe I'm in yang, like yin and yang, right? Like maybe I'm in a yang structure, but I need to flip to a yin structure, but I need to stay liminal in the information. You know, these are words that make that are meaningful for me, but it's sort of like I'm like rotating the configure. I was like, which binary do I need to sort of like flip?
Like the facet of a crystal, maybe. Like, okay, you shine it here the light is shining, okay, this is like the right placement for this crystal right now, something like that.
Yeah, exactly, to get the effect that I want, or to get the light to shine in the way that I want it to.
Yeah. So that's man, that is good evidence of like a flexibility that really lends itself to chaos magic. I mean, hearing that description of truth, I'm like, yeah, you could try anything on the precise.
right? Well, I try to get it atomic. That's what I like to do, is like try to get it atomic, and then I can, like, it's pixelated. I can.
Yeah.
Any combination should be able to work theoretically.
And that's I just saw a little snippet sentence about magic recently. They were talking about doing, I think the example spell was, you have two little dolls and you move them further away from each other, and there's some extra there's some extra magic stuff I'm not describing, but the idea is this is a separation spell. If there's a relationship you have with somebody that you want to kind of naturally let it go a little bit, you move these dolls away from each other, you do some other stuff, but the point they were trying to make was, you need to know, like, for as much as you can take on this belief, these two dolls don't represent you and the other person. These two dolls are you and the other person. And if
Oh.
you can believe that for the length of the spell, you don't have to believe it tomorrow at work, but if you can believe that for the length of the spell, it'll make your magic like 10 times more powerful. Like, that's where you want to be.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, like actually allow the symbol to be embodied. Truly. Like
Oh,
in your
yeah, yeah.
belief. Yeah. Oh, interesting.
And
I like that.
so what I've read of, I tried the Phil Hine book. I've read some Peter Carroll. I went on a deep dive trying to understand chaos magic when we started to get all excited about magic. And Peter Carroll had the sort of funny idea that you should roll a dice every week. And then there's 6 sides, and every side that's what you believe this week. So,
Oh.
and you
To sort of press your beliefs.
and
Yeah.
the beliefs are very extreme. It's not just like, oh, I am an okay person, I can do things. So let me see if I can remember all 6. So the first one was like positive atheism, as in we can use science, we can use rationality, we can make a better world, and any problem we can figure it out. Number 2 was like degenerative atheism, where it turns into nihilism. So you're going to be a nihilist for this
Oh
week.
wow. Okay. Yeah.
The third one was positive religion, monotheism. Not necessarily Christianity, but something like that. There is a God, he has made everything work out. And then the fourth one was degenerative Christianity.
Right.
And I think 5 and 6 were the equivalents of magic, of your own magic.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
remember that exactly. So if any of your audience has read this chapter, they could be like, no, you're wrong. But I think it was magic as this is helping me navigate the world. And then magic as I don't know what's going on. I'm deep in confusion. And so just like for a few weeks, you roll the dice, you pick one of those beliefs, and treating your beliefs that flexibly and also with like a certain lack of deference, like not taking it that seriously. The idea is if you do that for a while, it's like working out your brain, and you're going to have no problem imagining those 2 dolls are you and the other person. Like that's going to be super easy for you.
Because you've built the muscle
Yep.
of believing something that you might not believe otherwise.
Yeah.
Right. And I guess my sort of stepping stone aspect of that is sort of like, okay, let me sort of turn reality, like, not quantum leap, sort of, but like actually sort of like, let me stay pivoted on one plane that I am on, and I can sort of make moves from there because I'm always just one step away from where I believe, you know? Like I don't do well. I can't just jump to a belief, right? But I get it. Like you're like, "Oh no, you can." I guess here's an example, right? I don't particularly currently believe that I can jump a belief like that. Like I don't know that I could
Oh,
immediately,
interesting. I see where you're going.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Like get that meta for me.
Yeah. But you could like step your way to the belief that you could jump a belief. Okay.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
No, it does. It does. And I suppose both ways would get you where you're going. Like they would both work.
Right.
That's interesting because I'm not sure I could stepping stone. Like I would get caught up. I'd get distracted. Like,
oh, that's interesting. That reminds me when I was first working with Sigils, and like I was reading up on like like all these like the different versions of like you can make a grid, and then which some of yours look like that. Like they look like you're using that sort of thing. And I'm like, oh, that's too.
I want to use the grid, but like I'm too stuck in my ways. Like I do things one way. I'm used to it. Yeah. Doing a grid would be easy, but it's a little bit different, so I haven't done it.
Oh, that's right. Okay, for me, it's more. When you said I would get stuck, I would get distracted. That's where I like. I start going into the mundane and I try to start over. Like, I feel like I'm not, like, yeah, there's something that's gets me stuck, and I start like sort of like over getting OCD about it, and I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
feel myself not like getting anxious about, oh, is this gonna work? I have to do it perfectly, blah blah blah. Whereas like when I allow myself to just sort of like move the pen, my
Yeah.
energy goes into it, you know.
No, this is interesting. I know the state of mind you are describing really well. I started to
Mm-mm.
feel it 11-ish, something like that,
Mm.
preteen, and you're a preteen. You're not going to have the best ideas on how to deal with your emotions. You don't have like
Right.
well thought out plans.
Yeah.
Um, I remember doing this. I developed an impulsiveness to get over the OCD. And now
Oh.
I'm kind of a mess because I'm half impulsive and half OCD. I mean, it wasn't the best way in retrospect, but like I can't easily go, let me develop this idea gradually. Let me develop a plan for my life in all aspects. I'm
Mm.
either kind of paralyzed or kind of being impulsive to get out of the paralysis.
Mm-hmm.
And I've developed pretty decent instincts about that impulsive state. Like when I'm in that impulsive state, there's no time to think, but you can kind of develop instincts. And so I feel like I go back and forth between two states. I have impulsive with half decent instincts. It's like riding a wave, or just paralyzed in overthinking. I rarely find a middle ground.
I actually know exactly what you're talking about. Does it
Mm,
feel like, I think I do, because what you're
uh-huh.
describing, it feels like riding that wave. And when you're like you develop good instincts, and I think that's where the like deconditioning comes in for me, because then I had a like the more I'm able to like take other people's ideas or like should be's out of the equation, I can find that wave so much cleaner.
Yes, yes. Oh my God, yes, definitely. Like, I don't even want good input when I'm in that state. I don't want good ideas. I
Right.
don't, you're fucking me up.
Right, right, like, right, right. It's like you're on your own, sort of like, I don't want to say frequent wave is a really good way to put it.
It feels
Yeah,
like it. Yeah.
it does, because and it's like, even though somebody could come in and feel like they could just like move all of the like almost like it's ether. And it's like if you come in and it's like, oh, you've now dissipated my tunnel, but like the tunnel itself, when you're in it, it's so clear and so clear where it's going.
Yes. And thinking back, you were asking me about like how I got to this
Mm.
point, like
Mm-hmm.
intellectually, spiritually, and I kind of gave a half-ass answer. I guess I used to be atheist, but kind of not really. Like I, I'm realizing as we're talking about this impulsiveness, it would make me like take on kind of worldviews. Like
Mm.
I went through my Christian phase kind of impulsively. I tried Buddhism when I was in my 20s, and I just kind of wanted to jump right into it. Like, all right, I found a temple. I'm going to go meditate. I'm going to change my diet. I'm going to do this and that. Always kind of
Right.
seeking, like, somebody has mapped out these weird feelings I'm having. So
Mm.
one of these religions has like a path where if I just settle into that, things will start to make sense.
Right, right, right. But then they never do, or like
They never
what?
do.
They never do. Mm.
Or,
Mm.
they do for like a hot minute, a couple little insights here or there.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like people's pattern seeking brains is like, oh yeah, that person's telling the truth. Like the
Mm.
Bible just described what it feels like when you're unhappy, just like perfectly. That means everything else they say is true.
Oh,
Like,
right, right, right. I've latched on, and now it's this. So do
you
you
fill in the
feel
rest of the picture yourself. Yeah.
right, right, right? Which I feel like, in a way, like my current practice kind of just does that consciously. Just like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I can take that's true from over here, and I can take that because it's all in the field and true in some aspect because it is already. It's whether or not can acknowledge it.
No, that's interesting. So you're kind of take an unconscious process that most people do and you make it a little bit more conscious. Like, okay, unconsciously, everybody is filling in the gaps. They're making things make more sense, like little additions. I'm just going to have more control over what the additions are.
Right. Why do I have to then just like... I was into Buddhism for a while. In fact... when I was in school for a hot minute, I had to do a paper on my worldview, and I was looking up what I believed to be true, and as I was looking it up, I realized that it was basically Buddhism.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. So I read a couple of books on Buddhism. I was really into Pema Chodron. I still hold a lot of those like ideas, but it's like doesn't mean that I have to like go into that whole thing, right? Which is tricky because then I start getting like that's when I get nervous about like appropriating, you know? I'm like, I don't want to like take it on as like sort of a costume. It is still a very deep thing for me. But I have to be careful about like, you know, even like with what I'm doing with the I Ching, like I like I don't ever want to come on the internet and start like teaching the I Ching as if it's like my like people study that for their whole lives. You know?
Right.
Anyway, but what
no, the appropriation issue is sort of nuanced because my understanding for most of these things is that there's an appreciation and then that can cross the line into appropriation, and you want to stay comfortably on the appreciation side of things, but that's tricky when you're like making content or trying to explain something. It's easy to appreciate from a consumer point of view. Oh, I bought this thing, I like it, I said thank you. But if you're a producer communicator role, it's very hard to ride the appreciation wave.
Right, without like, you know, exploiting or like overstating, right? I want to go back to so okay, so you went into all like Christian for a while, Buddhist for a while. Do you feel like what you're currently in right now is likely going to be for a while, or do you feel like what you're currently in is like something's coming together in a different way?
Oh, damn. Okay, that's a deep question. And,
sorry.
No. Here's no, it's good, but here's the reason. Because of course, I feel like this is going to be my thing forever, and it's going to last forever. Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, I gave my life to Buddha. I'm never going to drop the big B.
That's fair. You really can't answer the question while you're inside of it.
But I do have some things to point to that make this different. Like, this one's different. Okay. This one's going to last.
Yeah, how is this one different?
For one thing, even though me and Jinx do very different types of magic, we got into magic together, and our lives are a little bit different now, partly built on we have done some magic together. That is now something we like have in common. All the previous things I was into, it only had the effect of separating me from people more. Like nobody went on the Buddhist deep dive with me, like or any of the other things. All of that was me becoming more alone. And so that this being different in that way, I think is pretty big. Also, I remember how I got out of all these phases beforehand. This is coming back to me now. I talked myself out of them. They weren't logical. They didn't make sense. So, you know, you start to pick holes in things with Christianity. Okay, this, that, and the other doesn't make sense. Once you start to ask, do animals have souls? That's like a chink in the windshield that can break the whole thing.
Right.
And with Buddhism, it wasn't so much logical as like there is a whole side of myself that I'm never going to get to express in this worldview. I might be like, you're reducing all of your instincts. You're getting rid of any aggressive or non-harmonious feelings you may have. Who knows what that'll do to you? That might not be good. And with chaos magic, I didn't get into it logically. Like when I started reading the books, when I started reading the Peter Carroll, the Phil Hine, when I started messing with Sigils and stuff like that, there was nothing I really had to convince myself of. It was just like, oh, here's some weirdness. How does this weirdness feel? Well, it feels pretty good. Do I believe in it 100%? Now I'm pretty close to 100%, but at the time it was maybe like 15%.
Oh, and wow.
The nice thing about chaos magic is like, all right, we can work with that. We can give you some manifestations with 15%, just enough to like make you wonder.
Right.
When you were talking earlier about stepping stones to a belief, I suppose that's one I could do and could engage with, is like percentages of belief. Like I can get up 5% more on believing something.
I see. Yeah. And it's I wish I can see it. I can picture what you're talking about. It feels like there's an analogy there. But yeah, it's like almost like you're loading up. It's like a character in a game where you're sort of like at like a certain like you're bulking up.
Yeah, definitely. Like you went to the shop, you got the next set of armor. The next set of armor is like 3% more buff. Like that's not going to change an outcome. To do that a lot of times, it'll change the outcome. Yeah.
Right. Or at least you'll be able to do more and more things with it. Very interesting. There was also, you had mentioned, I might be going off, and feel free to pull me back around. I don't care how these go.
I've been thinking a lot about the title of your show, Liminal Tapestry, and I'm kind of taking the view that it's kind of like the Norns, the Norns weaving together a thing. And, something might be over here, like 50 yards. Why are you over there? Why are you weaving that part? No, it'll eventually come back over here. Just takes a long time.
Yes. Well, is there a thread that you're particularly wanting to follow right now?
Go ahead and follow your instinct. Go ahead and jump.
You, I remember, I think you wrote an article on Imperfect Witch, about, I found it fascinating because I never happened to come across this, but you found that when you were looking at chaos magic, that there was this sort of like, you were sort of put off by, and please correct how I'm putting this.
Sure.
It seemed like you were like kind of put off by how it was like, oh, well, it's a no hold barred. Like you could be a completely evil person, basically. Like there's no morality in it or something like that. I want to hear about what you found there and how you navigated around that.
Sure. So, this is reminding me, even though it was just a few months ago, I did have some discomfort with the morality of the whole thing that I've since kind of made my peace with. And I think it's, I've done some separate thinking of morality, but I think what I was getting at is that chaos magic won't hand you a morality. Like you're not just going to get one. You can either stick with the one you already have from childhood, or you can develop your own, but there aren't really guardrails to keep you from going too far. Thinking of the left-hand path, and I think we both looked into a little bit left-hand path versus right-hand path. I've come to think of right-hand path as very like community-oriented. What you're doing is for the greater good. I've come to believe that certain types of magic work better for right-hand path and certain type work better for left-hand path. Like Jinx, really, she could correct me here, but she strikes me so much as a right-hand path type of person. really just like naturally what will be good for the community I am in. And she is so much better at divination than I am. I feel like she can talk to, or she can at least get glimpses of spirits, ancestors, greater guidance. And on the left-hand path, I'm just so resistant to guidance in general. It fucks up my divination. It's not great. My divination is not like...
Yeah.
I can do it when I'm with her. I can borrow some of her right-handedness long enough to do divination, but on my own, I resist it, and so I'm not good at it.
Yeah. So do you feel like the left-hand path is more suited then towards like creation, like making things happen versus receiving information?
Oh, that's interesting. Possibly. Yeah. The way I see it is kind of building from the outside. I feel like you'll look inside and you'll see immediately whether you're a right-hand pather or a left-hand pather, and there's just a lot of built-up expectations and resistances. What does that say about me? Both of them feel kind of like, I don't know if I want to go all the way there, but I feel like... Maybe I shouldn't speak for everybody else. For me, I knew immediately, whether I like it or not, I'm a left-hand pather, and I'm going to have better luck leaning into that and see if I can be a good person as a left-hand pather than trying to be a right-hand pather, and just my underlying selfishness undermines anything I try to do. Like, probably better to just accept and work with it, and the way I become a good person might look different, but I'm going to trust that that's going to work out better than the alternative.
Right. It reads very ethical hacker to me.
Oh.
You know?
I have not heard that term, but I think I get it.
Oh, okay. Oh, do you like ethical hacker in general? You've never heard?
Maybe I'm misrepresenting it. Do you mean like be a hacker for the greater good, or do you mean hacking your ethics?
Oh, yeah, no, the first one. Like okay, they have like yeah. Like they have conventions and stuff where people who have the skill set to be able to hack, you know, to be able to get into things, but then they use it for the greater good, right? Like they're not doing it in malice. They're you know, hey, I'm gonna get into this. Like it's like, even at work we have penetration testing, right? It's like I pay somebody to try and get into my system to test my you know, laws. But you need somebody who has the skill set to be able to do that. But how do you allow yourself to learn the skill sets to be able to do that when in general doing that is considered bad?
Right. Yeah, and when I've read some chaos magic stuff and some left-hand path stuff, it strikes me as a little extreme for reality sometimes. Like they'll be like, you need to ascend and become your own god. I'm like, I'm middle-aged. I have a child. I have like a bank account. I'm not going to become the lord of all I survey. I just
yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I've heard, I haven't really delved into it too much. In different things that I've read, it comes up, and when it comes up for me, it seems like people explain it in ways that sort of suit their narrative. So I haven't ever done the deep dive on like what actually is it. So, and I know you sort of decided that it's like sort of like a community versus a selfish or like a personal sort of thing.
Yeah.
Is that what you found? What was your research on? I'm going to pick your brain a little bit on what you think, or what you have found people say about left-hand path. Because like that's where even like in some spaces, like that's like the like working with demons and things like that.
Right.
Which again, I don't know why I said it that way. People do whatever they want to do. And it's like getting what you want regardless of the effects.
Okay, yeah. And I don't know if I'm going to have any insights that you didn't have, because I found something very similar to what you did, which is that
Oh,
everybody
okay.
kind of says something different. It's I saw a couple of YouTube videos that told me what I wanted to hear, which is that left hand path doesn't just mean being a bastard. It means essentially what I said, like
Mm.
focusing on individual achievement and individual goals rather than working yourself around a community. Both are valid ways to get somewhere similar. Um, those YouTube videos were pretty long, so I took that as like doing research. But in terms
Yeah.
of canon, in terms of like how valid that is compared to something else, I don't know if I saw an authoritative answer, because
Mm.
Peter Carroll just says really authoritatively in one chapter of his book, you have to choose left hand path or right hand path, because if you stay in the middle, you're not going to get much done. And that was like one of the first things I read, so I took that in really like early.
Right.
But if you really tried to sit down with a pencil and paper, what is the actual canonical definition of left hand versus right hand path? I don't know if there is one.
Ah.
We're all just kind of like trusting our vibes, it feels like.
Yeah, yeah. Out here with lanterns, as Emily Dickinson
Yeah,
says.
yeah. Yeah, that's a
um,
good way to put it.
yeah, it's funny too because I definitely am like. Well, on one hand, I and this is such a fucking um, basic answer, but like so much of my life, even in my birth chart, I have so much that's like both, right? Like, but like whereas like my journey seems like so much of a how do I hold both? How do I like a middle way kind of a
Mm-hmm,
path,
mm-hmm.
um, or a gray witch, if it were, right? Have you
Oh,
ever
I,
heard
I didn't
that?
actually know what that term meant until you just said that. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if I think it can get problematic, but
Sure, sure.
you know, but like I definitely have felt a pull towards more like what you're saying, right? And I think it has to do with the life path one thing. Um, you know,
Yeah.
mine is not, and maybe it's a little bit about being a good person. I was like very, I'm still sort of like, I got to get my frameworks in place and my ethics solid almost before I allow, it's like that's my gateway before I allow myself to hold the belief because I feel like I'm afraid of my own power.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. I could see that. And
You know?
so in practice, that's going to take a lot of like what's the word, like rumination on your part, or if not
Yeah.
contemplation on your part, like a lot of contemplation, a lot of like, let me make sure my body and mind are in line before I go act. And that, yeah, maybe left hand path versus right hand path is like what feeds you, what lets you do that, because I feel like more community oriented people being out with others and feeling out the energy of others gets them situated, whereas if they were alone in a room, they'd be like losing their minds. They wouldn't know
Right.
which way to
Oh.
go.
Oh. Right. That's why I feel like Jinx feels more right hand in that if we're doing it like that, you
Yeah,
know?
and she spends a lot of time alone too, like figuring out things, figuring out her thoughts and stuff like that, but within the context of other people. I see her in groups unprepared, and like she learns from being in that group. And I just, if everybody
Right.
would go away for a minute, I could figure out what's happening with this group, and then I could rejoin it. Like that's a very different approach.
Right. Like I'll grab some stuff from you, but then I need to go be alone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like it's like that thing you were saying before about like don't even if you have good advice, don't. I can't right now.
I
I'm in
can't.
my
Yeah.
own. I can't take that in right now. Yeah. That's fascinating. Oh my god, there were so many
Well,
threads that I had.
I took the little, not little, I don't mean it dismissively. I took the test of your life path. I remember a little bit about it. I remember getting a 1. Jinx mentioned that you had a 1 as well, and there were a lot of similarities. And like, do you want to summarize a little bit what life path 1 is? Because I've almost forgotten, and also the audience could like.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And then and then I'll interview you more. I don't want to feel like I'm talking too much. Yeah,
no, I think it's good back and forth.
Oh, good, good, good. I'm glad you feel that way. Yeah, the life path 1 is like, these things get distorted and like oversimplified, right? So like, I'll start there because then you could build on that very easily. So like the oversimplified version is, number 1, you're the leader, you're the, the pioneer, you're the individual, you're the ultimate individual, right?
Yeah.
But I find too, whenever there's a path like this, so then what does that mean though? Like, you don't just get born to be the quote unquote leader, right? And it's like, oh, people follow you and blah, blah, blah. It's a lot of loneliness. It's a lot of meeting with, like, your life path is one of cannot help but do it your own way. Like the thing that you were talking about with guidance, like I can't necessarily take guidance. It's oh, that reminds me of I want to get back to divination if you happen to remember later. You can't you can't help but do it your way. Like you could try to like you could try, but you can't. You have to be the pioneer. You have to go on your path. Like it is yours to go. You have to be the one to make the first step, which also means that a lot of times, like what society tells us, like, well, society tells us like the way to do that is the way to like the top, right? And this capitalist society is like, this very like, and sure, you could do that, right? And be the like big leader.
It's one possibility, yeah.
Right, but in practice, I have found that it is the walking of that path is the constant meeting of I have to do this, or sometimes it's scary and you have to do the thing that no one's done before, so you don't know if it's going to work. And it's just this constant meeting of, again, like, ironically, right? Like, against all better advice, this is what I have to do. This is the way, the impulsivity, right? Like, it's very, that's why, like, it sort of, like, aligns a lot with Aries in the way of, like, this is my drive.
Yeah. And, oh, go ahead.
No, that's it.
Okay, yeah, and there are so many times I wish I could just like do what you're supposed to do or do what everybody else does. It would probably be better many times. Like whatever I come up with is often less good than the trod path, and I still can't do it. Like if I try to do it, I look like an idiot. I mess up like simple things. Like, and maybe you've experienced something like this when you're a life path 1 and you're living your life, you're doing your thing, and people see you. Do you ever feel coming from other people, they start by thinking you're a genius, like, oh my God, how'd you even come up with that? And then there are times where they're like, you're a genius, how can't you do that thing that like everybody can do?
Right. Yes. 100%. Like, wait a minute, why can't, like, no, I can't even describe it. You described it perfectly. Like, yeah, like, well, hold on. Like, why can't you just, like, screw in a light bulb? It's like, oh, well, because I haven't actually walked that path to do that. Because I have to do it. Because it's like, because the way and it's not necessarily that you're a genius, right? You, me, whatever, right? It's that the way that you go about doing it is so wild because it's not connected to what everybody else does. It's just what happens to make sense in that moment. So someone looking at you and goes, "Oh, I would have never even conceived of doing it that way."
Right.
Like you must have thought of so many ways of doing it, and then like realized and figured out that that's the way to do it. And it's like, no, I just literally had to do it the way that made sense to me.
That was the only way it was getting done. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And if changing the light bulb is not something that you have as a clear, this is how I can do this.
Right.
You become an idiot.
Yes.
Because you can't just follow what everybody else does.
Right. And so I think from the outside, it may sometimes, not to read people's minds, but it may look like laziness, or it may look like, oh, you just think you're above changing a light bulb. Like, no, I am as frustrated as you are in this moment. This is no better for me than it is for you.
Right. Which reminds me of that, like when you're like overthinking versus impulsivity. Mm-hmm. I wonder if, like, do you find sometimes, I've learned this about myself, that it's actually like I could be sitting there, it seems like and looks like laziness, but it's like the things are coming together. And then all of a sudden, it's like an insight, and I know exactly what I need to do.
Yeah. Yes. Like, the insight seems to come out of nowhere, but it is after a prolonged period of mulling here, mulling there, mulling there.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But while you're mulling, it's like it's almost like that thread is over there, and you don't even see it yet to cut it. Oh, I want to know too. Oh, there's so many questions I have about. Okay, let me.
It'll all come together. Follow whatever's speaking to you.
It so will. I was fascinated by the Norns in that, like, I'm like, okay, which one's cutting, which one's doing the weaving, which one's like pulling the thread, like in a past, present, future, because I'm sort of obsessed with time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Time. So, what is you? I think you're probably more studied on it. What is your, like, specifically understanding of the Norns?
So I drew a comic book about the Norns. I drew a comic book about Odin, like that was the multi-chapter thing, and then I did kind of a spin-off about the Norns. So I read enough about them to be able to do that. It seems like such an obvious question when you're asking it. I never thought about who was cutting, who was threading. Like,
oh, really? Oh, okay. But
now
okay,
that
so
you ask it, I wonder too.
But what, yeah, I don't even remember which one, like with Erd and I forget their names.
So there's Skuld, I know, is like the future, because I represented her as the youngest one. Let's see here. And then Erd, I think, is the oldest one.
And Skuld is Skuld is the youngest one. Erd is the oldest one.
Let me just pull it up on my phone real quick.
Yeah. That always trips me up too, with the oldest one being the past. Which
so there's Urdur, Verdandi, and Skuld.
Verdandi, that's it. Right.
Yeah. And so just intuitively, I would think the cutting represents, like, you can't change this, so that would have to be the past,
right?
Because that's the hardest thing to change. And I feel like the weaving would have to be the present, because that's the most forward facing action type of deal.
Yeah.
And then well, threading being in the future would be weird. What were the three things?
I always get tripped up. No, it is. Yeah. It's like the I forget. I'm calling it threading, but it's the like on the spindle, like when you're turning the wool into the thread.
Yeah, yeah. The only way it would logically make sense is if Future was doing the cutting, but then that doesn't make sense because that's exactly the most open thing. Like there wouldn't be any cutting
Right.
involved in the future. Yeah. Okay, that's tripping me
Right.
out too.
Right, which is this is just trips me up about time in general, right? But also for the same reason that I mean, does is it intuitive to you that the oldest one is the past?
It is. It is.
Okay.
And that may be because I spent months drawing a comic book with these characters. Initially, I impulsively made the youngest one the future because, of course, and then just like through the process of drawing that over and over again, it became intuitive to me. That may be why.
Well, but you even said, of course. I think of
Oh,
the
true.
oldest one as the future. So, like, what is it that's of course for you as the? I understand why it's weird that I think that, but I'm triangulating right
Probably
now.
the example set by other media. Like I can't think of any examples at the moment,
Oh,
but whenever you've seen past, present, future represented as like fantasy beings or whatever, it's always that way. It's the template. I haven't thought deeply about it. It's just like that's what I've seen.
oh, I guess I haven't seen enough. Ah, haven't consumed enough of that kind of fantasy content. Okay. All right, that's a thread I can follow though, where I could look it up, and then maybe some things will come to me, and then I'll be able to figure out what the why. Like it feels like because I guess I'm looking at the timeline. I don't necessarily believe in a timeline. I have weird thoughts about that. But if I'm looking at a timeline, I'm seeing like the future is like older, like it's
Because there's
higher.
more of it.
Yeah, because there's more. Yeah, I guess because there's more. Like there's if it was a number line, the future would be number 10, and the past would be number 0. But I wonder
Okay,
if
yeah.
it's yeah.
Yeah, with a number line as you go further out, like yeah, it's never ending. Presumably, it goes to infinity. But like
Right.
zero is pretty darn finite. Like if you're at five, you're pretty close to zero. But there is no
Right.
number where you're close to infinity. Okay, I see.
Right. But I could conceive of it as actually now that we're talking. I've never talked this out loud before. I guess 0 would be the present, and negative would be the past. And I can see negative as being old.
Oh, okay, okay. This, it's funny. This is making me think of how much I've intuitively associated chaos magic with math just because I happen to be a math teacher at the same time that I'm
Oh,
like
that's
learning
funny.
about it. Because
Okay.
I wasn't a math teacher most of my life. I was a special ed teacher. And then coincidentally, right when I started doing math instead, pretty close to that is when I
Mm.
started dabbling in chaos magic. So they're like
Oh.
association. Like when I was
Oh.
talking before about like I can believe in that 5% more, like thinking about math more than I ever have is giving me like vocabulary to talk about it.
Oh, interesting. You set it into place for me when you were like 0 is pretty definitive, and the only thing that I personally believe that is definitive is the now.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
And so I was like,
I've
oh,
seen you mention that idea. Yeah.
yeah. I was like, oh, so 0 must be the present. And then everything else clicked into place. So thank you for
Yeah.
that.
All right. You're like finally scratch that itch. Dang.
Yeah, yeah. So when you think about the 5%, are you thinking of it like? Are you picturing a like? Are you picturing anything? Are you picturing like a pie chart or something? Like loading.
Well, so when I was younger reading comic books, I remember the portrayal of Scarlet Witch was a lot
Hmm.
more interesting than the movies now.
Yeah.
The actress is great, but the
Hmm.
writing, they're not fully embracing the character.
Yeah.
And her powers were interesting. I think about it more and more as I get more into magic. So she was a mutant, and witchcraft wasn't exactly her mutant power.
Mm.
But her mutant power was that she could affect the probability of things happening. Like if she was fighting a bad guy, and they're out by a cliff, and there's a 20% chance that boulder's going to break off. She zaps it. It turns into 90%. The boulder falls off. And so she's just like zapping probability raise at all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And it was implied, but I think never stated, that mutant power lent itself to witchcraft and made her good at witchcraft because it was just like one step removed from it. So
I see.
before I even started looking into magic, that was one of my first like childhood thoughts about how magic might work, is just like you're making something more likely to happen. I still kind of believe that's what's going
I
on.
very much believe that for sure. Yeah. That's an interesting way to put it. In fact, it feels very aligned with the, like, I think of it like as influencing conditions. And
Yes.
I particularly am obsessed with like what's sort of like the path of least resistance. Like what's the one move I can make that can increase the probability the most?
Ooh, yeah, yeah. It feels cool when you can like change one little thing and make a bunch of other stuff happen. It feels like you're hitting the cue ball in the pool game just right. Like, oh, that's starting the right chain reaction there.
Right, exactly, exactly. Or even like, and I haven't gotten to this level yet with the Rubik's Cube. Like, I can solve it like with the basic algorithm, but like, technically speaking, you could do four moves and it gets you in a particular position. But I think theoretically, I don't know the actual moves, but I think like if you look at the geometry of it, those four moves could be two moves, right?
Okay, okay.
Like what's the? Hold on, I have to think about it for a second. Like
Uh-huh.
even if I, um. Oh right, like that. Like so, like if I get the green, if I want the green over on the yellow, I could do that. That's one move. Or I could move it to white, then move it to blue, then move it to yellow. That's three
Oh,
moves.
okay, okay. So the quicker move was the first one. Okay.
Was the first one, yeah. But it's still there because the geometry of it works.
Mm-hmm.
Where and maybe and that's where like and again, I'm not this smart and I haven't done it that much with the cube, but like sometimes you do have to take the long way around because you have to avoid moving a different one. Like one of the
Okay.
moves is you do have to move something out of the way so that like I need to move that so I can move that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um so the quickest path is not always the correct one because depending on what, like if you don't care about what you're going to mess up, if you don't if it doesn't matter what the rest of the field doesn't matter, fine, do the
Yeah.
quickest move. But if you need to go around something and not affect something else, you have to sort of maybe, okay, I have to do like three moves here because if I do the one, I don't know, I'm
No, no, I get what you're saying, and like comparing it to magic, y let's talk about a money spell. Like you could either make a spell like, give me that money, I don't care how it comes to me, or you could try to monkey's paw it out and be like, give me money without harming anybody, give me money
right.
in such a way that it doesn't alert the IRS.
Right, exactly, exactly. Like I don't want to be tricked into the "be careful what you wish for" thing.
Yes, yeah. Which is a little over emphasized, and we're a little overcautious about it in our culture. Like the monkey's paw story
Mm,
is fucked up. It's fucked up anti-magic
mm,
propaganda, but
mm.
there is a grain of truth to it. It's not like by messing with this you are guaranteed going to ruin your life, but it is like you do got to be aware of some things because it's as risky as other activities.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna jump to the divination thing because it's on my
Okay.
mind.
Okay.
Um, you had mentioned that like you find that because you said it in the context of you think that different practices lend themselves to left hand or right hand.
Yes.
And not that there has to be a definitive thing, but it was interesting to me that it seemed like you were saying that divination leans more right hand because of the guidance aspect, which was interesting to me because, like, when I'm divining, I feel very connected to sort of my thread. I don't
Oh,
I
okay.
don't feel open to the field. I feel like I'm very much divination for me is like this, not like this.
Oh,
I don't know how else
interesting.
to describe it.
Hmm.
Um, so I was curious if you had any other thoughts on like where you made that association that divination is more
So
open.
I, I associate divination more with like you are talking to things that know more than you. They may be your ancestors, they may be ambient spirits in the room. Um, but even if it was just my own subconscious, I still like don't want to hear
Oh, that's funny. Really?
it. Get out of here. I'm trying to think. Get out of here, me.
Really? Oh,
like
wow.
and so
That's very
it
grounded.
uh, I've never heard that about myself before.
Okay, but continue. Continue. Sorry.
So no, that's all right. That's all right. So when okay, so my general self-improvement path that I'm trying to do right now that is
Mm-hmm.
coincidental with I am also learning magic
Okay.
is I instead of just having instincts when I'm in an impulsive state, I need to get in touch enough with my life that I'm developing instincts about my life. So I like working around the house is one example. My garage is a
Mm-hmm.
terrible mess right now, and you know, dealing with that garage is going to be kind of like dealing with my own stuff. They're both
Mm.
happening at the same time, and if I tried to go online and be like garage cleaning tips and
Mm.
give yourself breaks, put everything in smaller pots, like even if they're good ideas, it's just going to throw me off. And even if one
Oh.
of those ideas works, I'm not developing further instincts. The end goal is like as I move around this house, I know where I would put things because it makes sense because I have an instinct. Cleaning becomes more intuitive, and so a lot of it is developing instincts around your actual life and not being afraid to make the decision because it to develop instincts you have to make decisions and then they're either right or wrong and you own your decisions. And so I'm trying to get into that headspace with my magic first. So I'm kind of like building the muscle. And so,
Okay.
I'll sit surrounded by my magic and my servitors and stuff like that. And I'll think a lot about what intention I want to do. Like, okay, do I want us to have a relaxing day today? Should I do a relaxation spell? Well, can we relax today? Or is there a better goal for us to pursue? And so I'll spend a lot of my time thinking about, like, how will I exactly set my intention for right now? And then I can do some magic around that intention. But setting that intention and building that intention setting muscle is so important that I would feel like a hack if I set out my runes and I was like, what should I wish for? What is the best path for me right now? Like that's not the muscle
Mm.
I need to be developing.
Mm. I see. I see. Okay. So interesting. So how do you know what's in the field like available to you?
That's a good question. I another muscle I'm trying to build is like thinking about my actual life itself, like the mundane details of it, problems I try to avoid, things like that. So the magic I do, even though the magic itself is kind of wild and a weird way to do things, it's often for mundane things. I want to be better at this skill. I want to, and
Right.
thinking about that mundane stuff is part of setting up the magic. I need to like wish for the right thing. And
Wait.
so it'll
So
start with like very non-magical thinking. It'll start with like, okay, this problem I've been facing, if I could change something about it, what would that be? Wait, maybe that's not the thing to change about it.
Oh. It's very here. It's so much more here than I'm, even though I'm obsessed with here now. You're like literally here now. You're like, I have to have it like physically here almost to
and
know. Hmm.
and that's an overreaction to like I am not a grounded enough person. I haven't lived a grounded enough life, so uh,
Hmm.
I have to kind of use my ungrounded impulsiveness to achieve grounded ends. That's sort of what my magic is built on.
Oh, and maybe that's why I'm like saying, "Oh, you seem so grounded," because I guess I'm the opposite in that way. Oh, very interesting. Because like when I'm divining, and it's funny that it's a good analogy to the Scarlet Witch thing. Um, because when I'm divining, I feel like I'm actually reading the probabilities.
Okay. And
Like I don't.
your systems of divination do read that way. Like you've
Mhm.
built your own systems of
Yeah.
divination,
Yeah.
and they are very complex. I could see them being like one step away from here's the probability.
Yeah, yeah. Because like and the idea is then too like because and it's like that's why that one is like the here framework. It's all about it's looking at a map basically. Because the
This is a
ultimate
useful framework for me because I've had this mental block
ooh.
about divination because I don't want outside voices when I'm trying to figure out my magic. But if I saw it as less personal, if I saw it as reading probabilities, I might be more willing to engage with it.
Oh, and more able to do it then. Because then you'd be
Yeah,
willing to
yeah.
do it, right? Oh, interesting. Yeah, because it never even. I and when you say it, it makes sense that you're hearing from your ancestors. You're hearing even from your higher self, right? And I even said like it feels more this than this. But as we're
Uh-huh.
talking, I'm like, no, it definitely is. I'm like, if I have cards out or coins or charms, I'm reading a map. I'm on top of it. I'm reading the
Yeah.
field. I'm not receiving guidance. I'm just reading the field. But also, I'm very, like, if I were to even give readings for anybody else, I would never say, this is what is going to like, I would never get predictive about it. I'd be like, okay, under these conditions, this looks like what is moving, or this is what's here.
Yeah.
For the ultimate
Oh,
purpose
I
of
just
then
said
making it.
yeah because I overheard a conversation in the other room. I'm sorry, I spaced out the last like 15 seconds of what you were saying.
No, I guess I was just repeating it in a different way. You'll hear it on the recording.
Okay, okay, fair enough.
But yeah, no, it is like I was just saying though, it's interesting because I haven't actually put this to words, but it is how I conceive of it is that it's like reading a map to the ultimate end of making a journey, like charting a journey.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. No, I have not thought about divination that way, but I can feel like less resistance to the idea of doing it that way. I may
Oh, that's
try some out with that framework. Yeah.
oh, that's exciting to me. I can't wait to see how this works for you.
Yeah, I've had a big block against divination because I just don't want voices while I'm doing
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah, I don't get voices.
Okay.
At least when I'm divining. Like, I will get voices, but not when I'm divining.
Not for divination, yeah.
No.
You're like, that's the one time they quiet down.
Right. Yeah. I'm like, I'm working. Leave me alone. I'm working.
So, having seen the divination system you made and having seen a couple of your videos about it, you know how I was saying that like different personality types lend themselves to magic. I have a pet theory that that systems like the I Ching, or I said that wrong. The I Ching,
I don't know how to even say it.
Astrology, any of those that are like you kind of learn about yourself or others. I think you get better luck with those than other people do. Like I think it even down to the results you get. Like I bet your horoscopes are more accurate than other people's are.
Because of what?
I don't know what it is about your personality, but just like some part of you, some piece of you is like supercharging that magic and you get more out of it. I don't have any proof of that, but it's like a pet theory.
Interesting. As opposed to a person who doesn't get supercharged, how do you know that they're a person who doesn't get supercharged by it?
The average person gets some kind of results from astrology or any of these types of things, the life paths, things like that. I almost feel like you get extra pages in your chapter. Like they whatever is doing that magic, you get some DLC, you get some extra stuff that just wasn't even included in their pack. Yeah. And like other forms of magic work for you, but that one, it's like, whoa, you got the best of what that thing can offer.
Yeah. I have a strong thread of structure in my field. And if there's anything that has structure to it, I can use it.
Okay. Structured magic works extra well for you as a general.
Yeah. I think that's it. Right. Yeah.
All right. Servitors.
Yeah, just go. Like, I mean, if you have thoughts about it, just go. I'm sure I have questions, but...
Sure. Okay,
I'm like, topic, servitor, go.
And this is one of those things that, like, I feel like everybody is peripherally aware of servitors. Like, everybody who's been interested in chaos magic, even for a minute, that's one of the first things you hear about. And I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, I've been kind of wanting to make one. I'm not sure. I don't know how to like start engaging with that. And the first book I read about it, they were like, once you start doing it, you're going to make a lot of them. And that ended up being true. Like once I finally sat down and did one, it's like tattoos. You end up with like 20.
Oh gosh. Probably why I haven't touched that yet. I'm like, I have enough to do.
and I couldn't figure out how to start for sure. I remember like the idea being there, I should really make a servitor. And like I read a couple of books on how to do it. And for weeks in the back of my mind, I'm going to make a servitor. I'm going to do it. And I was really nervous doing the first one. And then I ended up making too many. Like recently, I had a couple that misfired and didn't do what they were supposed to do, had like ill effects. And Jinx was like, yeah, you have too many. You have reached equilibrium point.
Right.
I got all mad. I'm like, no, I could have more. No.
Was that the one too where like you were like, I'm gonna learn how to do something and then the AC broke?
Yep. That was
You're like, here's a way to learn how to do mechanical stuff. Here's a broken AC. Have at it.
Yes, that's right. You want to develop some skills, you fucker? Yeah.
Here you go.
That was exactly right. Yes. So Yeah, and the mistake I made uh, with these most recent ones, I just had to deactivate a couple, is there was something I'm not very good at or comfortable with at all. And I made like a masterful spirit that's really good at those things. And
Oh.
that was too much of a mismatch. Like
Oh.
I I consult I put like the Greek god of craftsmen into my tape measure so that I would be guided by like I don't recall his name, but the Greek god of like craftsmen, metalwork, all that kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. Like, all right, you're going to help me out. And I could feel that he was like offended because my garage looks like crap. I wasn't raised with hands-on skills. I'm very avoidant about it, so I'm not even bringing like good character to the whole thing. And like Greek gods don't mess around with that kind of stuff. Like, so I was
Mm.
getting a lot of like monkey's paw type of effects. Like, everything I touched was kind of going wrong. It was worse than before I had the servitor. And I could feel like a very angry energy from it. Like this is not the kind of life he wanted.
And then, so are you able to? Were you able? I guess you talked about decommissioning or whatever. Like, are you able to then turn it off, or does it
So
become
yes,
problematic?
that's one of the first things they mention about making servitors is
Mm-hmm.
before you even learn what they are, they're like, have an off switch. You need an off switch. Like, okay, so
Okay.
it took me making like 16 of these things before any bad effects started to happen. And that was when I was like, okay, I remember there was an off switch. Um, and the mistake I made at first, because you read books, it's an odd idea, you don't have any guides on how to do it, you just kind of start doing it. They're like, make sure you have some action you can do that will specifically decommission this servitor.
Yeah.
And I did different ones for every one for the first like five or six, and they weren't all in one notebook. I couldn't remember. Like,
Oh. Ooh.
so so now after about four or five, luckily I realized my mistake and I made them all the same, which is if I say your name backwards while putting you away, you will dissolve into nothingness. And
Got
so
it.
now, even if I can't find the original thing, as long as I know its name, I can decommission
Oh, that's smart. That's smart. Okay. Right, because
it.
like
And
if things are going awry, you need to turn it off quickly.
that's right. That's right. And I don't want to overstate the whole monkey's paw thing because I've read a lot of people saying I have never had a single problem with a servitor. They just work. The problem is overblown. It took me like 15 or 16 before things started to go awry and I had to decommission them. And it's instantaneous. Like you can
Okay.
feel their energy leave and you are done with
Mm.
that.
And I imagine too that it's like you kind of get more bold as they keep working, and you're getting like you like kind of like, oh, okay, and then all of a sudden you overstep, and then it's like, oh,
Absolutely.
there was the
Absolutely.
limit.
Yeah.
It's funny. I
Another one that kind of, oh, sorry.
No, you can go.
Okay, so there was another one that kind of went awry was I made some protector type spirits and I worded it in such a way anybody who directs hateful energy at me, they
Mm.
will uh, they will have a bad day. They like things will go wrong for them. It's not going to kill them or anything like that, but like things will start going wrong for them. And
Oh.
then a lot went wrong while I was trying to fix the air conditioner. While I was up there with the air conditioner, thinking about my flaws as a person, I started to direct some hateful energy against myself. And then that started the
Oh.
domino effect of like more things went wrong. So
That's so funny.
I was not
So
specific enough.
so what's the difference then between a servitor and, so say, like a transmutation ward, like a physical transmutation ward?
So A servitor has some level of intelligence, like enough to do a job. And
Ah, okay.
I think the other important part of them is that you breathe life into them and you can end them when you need to end them. Many will give them like a natural ending, like once this task is completed, you will dissolve into nothingness, or, you know, in 1 week, you will dissolve into nothingness, something like that.
Mm,
Um, but
I see. There's a certain level of consciousness or autonomy or something.
yeah, like, or enough simulated autonomy that it feels autonomous. Yeah. And
Mm,
so you want it to have a name, a purpose. You want to describe it to itself. So I didn't tell
okay.
the tape measure, you look like a tape measure. I was like, you look like this god, and
Mm,
give it a sense of what it looks like, what it is. You want to identify a fuel source, because if you don't, it'll feed off of your energy. That's like the default. That's why you
oh,
say you will be replenished every time uh, money goes into my bank account or whatever it is.
uh-huh,
It's a
okay.
good idea to make the fuel source make sense for that thing so that you don't have to like constantly pay attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ability to completely dissolve it is important as well.
Oh, very interesting. Okay. Could there was something you said earlier about like the it being an energetic mismatch. I'm like, oh, I all of a sudden got the feeling that you got with the divination thing. I was like, oh, I could see now a path to this because I
Oh,
could see my
really?
yeah, because I could see myself doing the stepping stone thing.
Okay, okay, yeah. Oh, that would be cool if we both got like a tip for magic we've been avoiding out of this conversation. That would be
Yeah,
very cool.
I think that just happened.
Oh, excellent,
Because
excellent.
yeah, because I could see then doing and using your percentages, right? So something that I'm already, say, maybe a 98% match for, and I'm just
Yeah.
using the servitor for that extra 2%,
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
you know?
So, yeah, I feel like that would work. I'll kind of describe the first few that I made. Um,
Mm.
so my daughter made a 3D piece of art at summer camp once, and it had like little bits of moss on it. It had some moonstone, actually, like fake moonstone, couple little crystals, and it looks like some plant matter transitioning into crystals. It's like a little sculpture that looks like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that struck me as, this looks like how a magical plant would like photosynthesize. Like if it took in something on the grass end and then put out a transmuted thing at the crystal end. So I
Okay.
made it an emotional air freshener that like
Ow!
takes in it takes in negative emotions, and it feeds on negative emotions in the same way that plants feed on like CO2, and then it puts out a smaller amount of just positivity, happiness, whatever you want to call it. And it puts out less than it takes in because the excess is its fuel source. And all we have to do is have some anxiety in the house, and it's happy and it's well fed, and we don't have to pay much more attention than that.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing.
So I've got a couple that have similar purposes as that around the house. I think identifying the right fuel source is one of the main like things you want to do. Um, I have Futhark here,
Uh
and
huh.
this was a mirror that we had around the house that I kind of like repurposed. I've drawn the runes on it, and whatever symbol is in the center is like the current focus of my sigil magic. And
Okay.
is a very literal-minded mirror spirit. I feel like a mirror spirit would be very literal-minded.
Okay.
So exactly what I put is exactly what gets like magnified.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
And then this broken record player that I was eventually going to get around to fixing. I'm not going to get around to fixing it. It's now the it's a servitor now.
Yeah.
Turn it into a servitor. So it is the arcane frequency tuner, and it magnifies my altar spells. So I have a lot of
uh,
like magnifying existing magic servitors, so that whatever I happen to be doing, whether it be a sigil, whether it be an altar spell, whatever, that like it gets a little bit of extra juice. That's one of the main ways I use servitors.
oh, that's I love that so much.
Thank you.
You were, yeah, you were really demystifying this. It's funny because as you were saying the one thing, I do have a thing that like I felt remote viewed for a hot minute, and I made this little like mirror charm, and I imbued it with, it was a transmutation word from, and that's why I used that as the example, because it's like, oh, I wonder, it didn't have a consciousness, so it didn't have a name, blah blah blah, but like the energy that was in it was that anyone trying to see into this space will only see truth about themselves, and then I will
Ooh.
then get some of that energy as well. Like truth about self
Ooh.
is what will transmute. Like you are trying to find information, you will find information about yourself, and I will have that energy too. So every time you try to see me, I will see me more clearly, and you will see yourself more clearly.
Oh, dang. Yeah, that's well done. Nice.
Yeah. Um, but I correlated it to potentially going into servitor land with it, right? Which is just, I bet it could actually just be more powerful if I gave it a name and fuel and yeah.
So, the first book I ever read about it is how I do the activation spell. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I saw one thing and I ran with it, and it's worked pretty good for me. So, you may find something different that works better. But the idea is you write everything out first. You get an exact intention of what this is going to be. And I like to choose objects that sort of match the purpose. Like if I wanted to illuminate something, I would do a flashlight, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
you give it a name, you give it a little bit of a story or an appearance. You name the fuel source, you decide how it's going to end, all that. You get all that set up before you start talking to it at all. And then you tell the object what it's going to be, all of that. You give it an incubation period, and that's a
Mm.
very intuitive choice. I have never done as long as they say to do.
Oh.
Um, I'll usually say something like, tomorrow morning you will wake up and be ready to work, because I'm impatient. They say some of them you're supposed to do like 5 or 6 days. I've never done
Yeah.
that. And then the breathing life into it process, what I read and I just started doing, and it works pretty good, is after you've communicated with your servitor, you sit there in silence and you let yourself feel empty, like empty of identity, the primal emptiness at the start of everything. And then you wait until you naturally start to feel light. Like you don't make yourself imagine the light. Once it arises, once you start to feel it, that's the light of creation. You breathe it into your servitor.
Oh, very, very cool. All right. I want, if you don't mind, if you could
Uh-huh.
send me like the name, whatever these books or whatever, or anything that we've talked about that you like think is a good resource, because I'll put it in the description of when I publish
Oh,
these.
cool, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
When are you likely to publish it so I know how much time I have to send you that?
Oh, I have other things that I want to get done today, so I probably won't even edit this until tomorrow.
Okay.
But yeah, probably I probably want to get it up tomorrow. I'll send you the link so you can rewatch it. I love listening to myself talk.
No, this.
So I always rewatch. It's like almost immediately.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with enjoying your own creations. If you were a chef, you would enjoy eating your own food. Like, if you
That's
put
true.
work into something, you like to enjoy it. Yeah, makes sense.
That's true. So yeah, but I know you said we're right about at the 20-minute mark when you said you were good. This is fantastic.
I had a lot of fun with this. I would like to do this again sometime.
Absolutely. This might just be I might keep having the same on over and over again, which is fine for me.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like the
Awesome.
audience can start to get their favorites.
Right. When are we having that guy on again? All right. Well, this was fantastic. Any other parting thoughts before we?
Oh, let me promote Jinx's new thing real quick.
Please.
So Jinx was inspired recently to make the Black Cat collection. It is a high quality collection of oils, a Black Cat candle, beautifully packaged. I believe there is an uncrossing oil. There's 3 others. Beautifully packaged. It comes with kind of a little story of how Black Cat imagery has been through witchcraft for so many years. It's just, every time I look at it, I'm shocked. This is like a high-end product, and anybody who is at all interested in this stuff, please check out Imperfect Witch on TikTok. This new collection is some of her best work.
Oh yeah, I might even, now that you said it, I thought it was a small batch, so I was like, oh, let some other people get it, but now you sold me.
It's good stuff. It's real good stuff.
Yeah. She does fantastic magic. I'm testing out this salve for her, and she asked me about it. I was like, did you? It might be the astrology I'm going through, so give me another week to test it once these stars get like less intense.
Because that's so real,
right? But I was like, did you like? This feels like a lot of fire in it. She's like, oh, I did put it on the fireplace. She's like, oops.
Well, that's where that energetic sensation came from.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very strong, very strong. Anyway, again, thank you for coming on, and I will see you next time.
Thanks for having me. See you next time.
And bye.
Thanks for listening. I hope you meet me here again, between the mysterious eternal and the practical now. Until then, may the threads tug gently and your weaving be effortless.